Greetings, dear children. Today we are going to discuss our third lesson, the world population. The term population. The total number of humans inhabiting the earth is termed population. It is defined as a phenomenon that changes qualitatively and quantitatively. It means we can make strategies to increase or decrease the total population, and we can improve the quality of it through the development of skills and attitudes as well. Population is a resource. We call it human resource. It is very important within the development process. Regarding the population, there are two important aspects. First, the features such as gender, human race, and age that receive at birth. A person receives those features at his birth. Secondly, the features such as nationality, religion, language, and literacy that are received later. The size of world population. Over 200 years ago, the world population has been very low. However, the world population has risen beyond 7 billion at present. Gradually, according to the rate that population growth increases, it can be calculated that around 80 million people would be added to the world population. Dear children, look at this chart. It shows the world population according to continents. According to this chart, Asia has the largest population, while continent of Africa in the second place, continent of Europe in third, continent of North America in fourth, continent of South America in fifth, and continent of Australia in the sixth position. Around 76% of the total world population lives in two continents of Asia and Africa. You can calculate that 60% should be added to the 16%. It is 76%. And when we discuss the size of the population according to countries, we can identify 10 countries as population giants. It means they have the larger populations in the world. China is in forefront, and out of the 10 countries with larger populations, 7 of them are Asian countries, including China, India in the second place, Indonesia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Russia and Japan. Rest of the other countries are United States of America, Brazil and Nigeria. Dear children, now we are going to discuss the growth of world population. Based on archaeological and recent evidences, it is clear that there has been a continuous growth of world population. When the historical data regarding world population, two notable periods can be identified. First, a long period of time between the origin of mankind to around 1750, when the growth was very slow. During a long period of time, due to the rate of natural growth being at a low level, the world population did not develop fast. The reason behind this is the fact that though the birth ratio was high, the mortality ratio too remained high. The second period, after 1750, there was an accelerated growth of population. Within this short period after 1750, there was an accelerated growth of population. During this period, mortality rate became low, but the birth rate remained high, leading to an accelerated growth in population. This accelerated growth is known as the population explosion. If you go through this figure, how world population grew, it is clearly identified that origin of the mankind to around 1750, the growth rate was very slow, while after 1750, the rate is increasing rapidly. And the chart shows how the rapid growth has taken place. In the year of 1750, the world population was 700 millions, while in 2011 it is 7,000 million population. Dear children, go through this chart. It shows the time taken for the growth of world population from billion to billion. The world population, which was a billion in 1800, had reached 7 billion in 2011. The time taken to double the population is also reducing notably. It is clear that it has taken 123 years to increase 1 billion of population to 2 billion. After that, the time was reduced notably. Another special feature of the growth of world population is the fact that during the period after 1950, the population growth in developing countries shows a faster rate than the developed countries. Look at this chart. The developed countries are in yellowish color and developing countries are in greenier color. It is clear that developed countries has a low rate while developing countries have a faster rate. The reason behind the faster rate in developing countries are the advancement of Western medicine, then advancement of agriculture, and spread of education, and there are so many factors behind the faster rate of developing countries. Dear children, now we are going to discuss another important topic, distribution of world population. Distribution of world population means how humans have spread geographically on the surface of the earth. Due to the diversity of physical and human factors, there is an unequal distribution of world population. Dear children, when we discuss about the distribution of population, there is an important term, population density. It means population that inhabits a certain unit of land is defined as population density. Generally, it is known as number of people per square kilometer. We can calculate it by dividing the population of a certain area by its total land area. Here the formula you can see. As I told you, there is an unequal distribution of world population. It is clear that there are certain places with larger populations and certain places are with lower population. Accordingly, there are 4 densely populated regions in the world. East Asia, South and Southeast Asia, Northwestern Europe, Northeastern coastal zone of USA. Dear children, we should remember the northeastern coastal zone of the USA, which is identified as a densely populated region, has become a secondary concentration at world level at present. So, we have 3 densely populated regions, East Asia, South and Southeast Asia, Northwestern Europe. There is an important fact regarding the densely populated regions in the world. It is only 10% of the total land area covers this population concentration, but that 64% of the world population live within these concentrations is a special feature. It means larger number of population is gathered in smaller amount of land mass. Now children, look at this map. The densely populated regions are clearly visible in darker shadings of red, and sparsely populated regions are in lighter shadings. Secondary world population concentrations. In addition to these population concentrations, there are also many secondary population concentrations with high density of population in almost all the countries. Here we have some examples. Eastern, western and northeastern coastal concentration of North America, linking New York, San Francisco and Boston. Then the eastern coastal concentration of South America, linked to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Zone around the Nile estuary, linked to the city of Cairo in Egypt. Concentration of Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast and Ghana in Western Africa. Dear children, about 80% of the world population lives in densely populated regions and secondary world population concentrations. Okay, then sparsely populated regions of the world. Out of the total land area of the world, 65% of the land area has a low population. Due to certain factors, there are low population regions in the world. First, cold deserts. Examples of Antarctica and Arctic region. Then hot deserts like Sahara in Africa and other hot deserts in Central Australia. Third, mountainous regions like Himalayan, Andes, Rocky, etc. Tropical rainforests like Amazon and Congo. Dear children, at the beginning I told you the world population is distributed unequally. Now we are going to discuss the factors contributed for the unequal distribution of population. There are many factors that have contributed for the unequal distribution of population. These factors can be divided into two categories: physical factors and human factors. Now we will go through physical factors. Climate, physical features, drainage, nature of the terrain are some of the physical factors contributed for the unequal distribution of world population. Variations in the climate on the earth have positively and negatively affected the population distribution in the world. Plains, river valleys, and places with fertile soil with a tropical or a temperate climate have become areas with a high population. Children, there are two examples for highly populated regions due to physical factors like climate, physical features, drainage, that is Nile Valley civilization. In addition, Indus Valley civilization also there. The land in the polar regions where the temperature is low and the climate is extremely cold. The arid regions where there is a high temperature and a very low rainfall, and regions where there is a high temperature and heavy rainfall like the Amazon and the Congo basins are areas of low population. Now, there are certain places which are favorable physical factors. The population is high, while the same factors sometimes are affected for the low population distribution also. Now, dear children, we are going to discuss the second group of factors, that is human factors. Location of different industrial centers, urbanization, trade centers and ports, development of infrastructure, availability of diverse services, and establishment of administrative activities are important human factors that affect the world distribution of population. Dear children, at present, sometimes the human factors are more greater than the physical factors because advancement of skills and attitudes of human beings, they are able to convert harsh physical conditions into favorable places. Therefore, based on human factors, there is a great distribution of population in the world. Dear children, we have discussed several topics regarding the population in the world. We have discussed the size of it, the growth of world population, then the distribution of world population. I think you had a clear understanding about the world population. Thank you very much.